So no contract associated with this. This is purely I want to get the goo down to the surface of the moon, and then I want to get it back to Kerbin again. So we're going to use this, what is this thing called again? Experiment Return Unit, which can take experimental data and bring it back. The materials bay is 4 slots, while the goo is 1 slot. So I need 5 slots, but the next one up is 8 slot. Actually, can I get away with... No, you won't do that. So we're going to have to use 8 slots. I don't think... No, there won't be any data in this thing. It does need a parachute. For show. Parachute. And it also going to need a heat shield coming back. Thermal. 1.25 meter heat shield. So there we go. That is what I want to bring back to Kerbin surface. Just that, with all its precious scientific data on there. So I need to put on a decoupler. There we go. Put that underneath there. Now, this thing does have command control, but it has absolutely no... It doesn't have any SAS, and I know trying to fly without SAS will drive me batty. So I am going to put a hex probe underneath that. And let's see. I think I worked out what this thing needs as far as... Doesn't need a lot of solar. No. Should be good. So what I'm going to just do is stick on... Where are my solar cells? This thing's just what's going to come back. And then we're going to leave the goo and everything else behind. That's the idea. There. Let's change that. It's going to have no... Let's configure this probe. Configure unmanned. This isn't going to do any other experiments. Boop. And we'll also change gold texture this time. Okay. We also going to need a communitron for communications. That should be good. Okay, so this is the thing that's going to fly back to Kerbin with its supply of goo and materials bay science. And in order to take off from the moon and fly back to Kerbin, I'm budgeting 860 meters per second. So let's stick on, I don't know, maybe this guy. I want to keep it. That's my smallest 1.25 meter tank. I could play around with like using these kind of things, but then I'm worried about getting it. I don't want this thing to get too tall, considering it's going to land. So that is that. Now let's pick an engine for it. And I'm going to be completely honest. What I did before is I put on a spark engine, and that gave me tons of delta V. It gave me a perfect thrust to weight ratio. And then when I kind of slapped something like this together for the thumbnail that hopefully everybody noticed for this stream, and I practiced, and I didn't practice, I just wanted that shot of it taking off the moon's surface, the exhaust from this blew up the lander that's going to have to be below it. So what I'm going to do instead, I wish I had those little spider engines, but I don't. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to put on a bunch of these ant engines. Let's see, maybe 4? That should be okay. 5.6 thrust to weight ratio. Like if we change this, remember this is going to just take off from the moon. If I change the body to the moon, there we go. Thrust to weight with the moon is 3.35, so I don't think that'll have any trouble taking off from the moon. Put that back on Kerbin. But then the exhaust is to the side, and hopefully this won't blow anything up. Now, what did I say I wanted? I wanted 860 meters per second of delta V. So this has too much, so we're going to start just knocking it back. There's 956. And oh, I also... The samples from the material bay and the goo do carry mass. And so you got to sort of factor that into it. This thing's going to come back with extra mass, and in fact it's 39.3 kilograms of mass, and it tells you that if we look at, say, here's the materials bay. it tells you in here, see, this is going to be 32 extra kilograms of mass once you've collected a sample. So I can use again my little utility weight. Let's take this off. Let's bring this size of this down. And this needs to have a mass of about, I'll call it 40 kilograms. So if we look here, that's 0.2, that's 0.05, so 0.2, and then put 2 of them. There, and that's 40 extra kilograms of mass. Does this thing still have the delta V it needs? 923, I'm budgeting 860. Let's give it a smidge more. Yeah, let's go to here. 1,035, I'm happy with that. Okay, now we can take these dummy masses off. I don't need them anymore. So now I'm confident this thing can get back to Kerbin. Now what I need to do is build what's going to go below it. So below it, I need another decoupler. Let's use this one. Sneak under there. And we will see if I can make this look a little bit better. Tuck these engines in a little bit. Up. That looks all right. Out a bit. There. All right. So we need a probe to go under this. So let's get, and I'm gonna need another probe body. Actually, just an octo will be fine. Might as well go cheap. And the reason why I need another probe body is because this is going to stay behind and do all kinds of science. I'm going to land in a different biome that I've not landed in before. And I got all kinds of science I could be collecting in that biome. And then this thing can, while this guy's flying back, this thing can be busy collecting that science. So let's configure this. This is going to be a telemetry report and a thermometer. That works for me. Let's start both of those up. We also have the seismic accelerometer. That's going to stay behind. And we also have a barometer's no good and a vacuum. That's what I'm looking for, the radiation detector. That can be going on there as well. This thing is also going to require communication. A single communitron will do. Let's put it exactly opposite the other communitron. So right around here. Where's the other one? Sure. Actually, let's just put it here. Okay, and electricity. This thing is going to have to stick behind on the surface and generate power. One of the things it's going to need, because the materials bay is a crap ton of electricity, that is an official unit, is we are going to use a fuel cell. Stick that there to run the materials bay. And this fuel cell, let's stick a materials bay under there while I'm at it with all this stuff. Materials bay, there we go. And this fuel cell requires hydrogen and oxygen, and I already worked out how much of each I need. So let's get one of these little small tanks. I'm just gonna stick it to the side here for now. I need, this one's gonna be oxygen. It requires 640 units of oxygen. So I'm just gonna go like this, and I'm just gonna put in, I don't know, 650. That should be fine. And then I need another one. And this one's for hydrogen. Hydrogen. And I worked out I need 1,250 units of hydrogen. Let's put in an extra 100, 1,350 units of hydrogen. Okay. And we'll turn that to be orange and this one to green, just to make them different. And I'll figure out where I'm going to stick those in just a little sec. But that's to run the fuel cell. I'll need that. Oh, we need a goo. Goodness sakes. I'm running out of spaces to stick everything. Okay, let's just stick that here for now, just so I don't forget it. I need in this 500 units of electric charge to make it through the night. Let's just temporarily make that the root part and take this off. How much electric charge do I have? Oh, I only have 50, so gotta stick on some batteries. Those are... Boy, I'm gonna need maybe... These are just 100. These are 4. You know what? Let's get a couple of these in here. It's probably a good idea anyway. That's that. That is that. Give this a little bit of clearance between the two vessels. I think I need the room anyway. And that's 400, and then a couple of these batteries. Actually, let's do it that way. There. There. Let's make this again the root part. Alright, so that should deal with electricity. That should deal with lots of things. I think I now have a place I can stick this goo. I can probably just slide it opposite to there. Yeah. Come on, get in there. Single symmetry, I just need the one. We can put in these guys. One here, and one above it here. Alright, and just check the staging just really quickly. Some of this doesn't make sense. No, those two have to go together. That makes more sense. Alright, I'm just running down my checklist to make sure that I think I'm doing okay. So I can run. I got 500 units of electric storage. I got communication. I got a place to store my samples. Solar. This is going to need some solar generation. That is right. Okay. Because once it's all done collecting materials bay and goo, it's still going to sit behind and collect other science, and in particular, this seismic accelerometer takes, here, let's start that. The seismic accelerometer takes days and days to do, so I do need electricity generation just from solar. The fuel cell will have run out by that point. There we go. So let's see if I can see if I can make this look okay. If I can put on 4-way symmetry, click one of those, rotate them to about 45 degrees, so it will be sitting on the surface. And let's see if we can pull this out like that. I don't want it to get too clippy. I can find a better spot for that. Looks okay if I can just find a better spot. Do some flipping around here. Let's take this off, move that to there, so it's above it. That. Ooh, here, this might work. That there, it's lower. I think that's okay, without having too much clipping going on there. All right. Now, the budget, this thing now needs to be able to fly to the moon and land on the moon, and for that piece of it, I have budgeted 1,890 meters per second, a lot more. And what I'm looking at is this tank here, this tank here. Now let's stick an engine on the bottom of this. I want to get it a little wider because this thing's getting pretty tall, and this should help with the landing. Let's put a Terrier on the bottom, see what that gets us. So that is 1,860 meters per second. That's darn close. And the thrust to weight ratio is good. I think what I might just do is, because I think this will finish this off nice. Do that, and that. Maybe turn this. Oh, it's just like that. Now that is much too much fuel, so we can start taking out some of this fuel. Again, I'm budgeting 1890. That's 1978 for this stage. That should be good. Thrust weight 2.24. Oh, landing legs. Landing legs. I think I need the bigger ones. Ooh, I should probably even slide them down a little bit. All right. I'm thinking I'm getting something that's actually going to be working for me. 1952, I bid 1890, maybe a little bit more fuel. Don't be so stingy. Nin 1934, again 18, no, a little bit. What, how am I getting these to be so different? Stop doing that. There. Let's go with that. All I need to do now is get this thing into orbit. I think we're looking at something that probably will work. This is the Munar 5. And I'm just going to show, here, let's save this. I'm going to do some testing because I want to make sure that what I'm mostly worried about is that this thing can take off cleanly without completely destroying what's below it. So I'm just checking my staging here just really quick. That all seems good. We're going to exit here. And we're going to use the KRASH simulator to just test that takeoff part. So I'm going to open up first, though, SCANsat. This is my biome map of the moon. It is almost done. There's a little sliver here still to go. I want to pick some spot in the daylight, like maybe about here, and see if that's going to work for me. And let's see, I'm looking at, honestly, the latitude. Well, let's look at this. Latitude of -10, longitude of 79. I can see that on there. So latitude of -10, longitude of 79. You'll see why I need that in just a sec. So we're going to go to our KRASH simulator. We're going to go to landed, pick the moon, latitude of -10. Minus. Didn't put the minus in. Longitude is 79. I just want to have a landing spot that has a decent chance. And then this altitude is in meters. This works really nice. So I'll show you how this works. I was playing with this a little while ago. So I'll hit the simulate button. This is a great way to just, again, test if this thing is going to work. Notice, by the way, I don't get the ability to do this until I've actually been there and done this, which I really like. That's why it's only Kerbin and the moon that are there as options. So it's going to start me eventually. There we go. We're 11 meters above the surface. Oh, and I am on... Okay, that was a bad choice of location. I thought I was picking right on the edge of a crater. Doesn't that figure? Okay. Oh dear. I wanted to pick something that was fairly... Okay, let's terminate this simulator. That didn't go well. Okay, let's see if we can pick a better spot. We'll terminate that simulation. So that was money not well spent there. Let's go back to that SCANsat map. So SCANsat map, math type, slope. There we go. And this is now, should be longitude, latitude, but I also am getting a measure of terrain height. But yes, there's the slope. I think that angle that's there, I can't point to it with the mouse, but that angle that's there is the slope. There's a slope of only 1 degree. I doubt I can get much better than that. And it seems to be a reasonably large stretch of just 1 degree. 2 degrees. Not very steep in this zone here. So let's get to here. So this has a longitude of 75.5 degrees. Okay, this is my last, this is literally going to be the last time I'm going to try it. Simulate. Landed. Moon. Longitude 80 degrees. Simulate. Okay, here we go. Oh, this looks better. This looks better. SAS on. And again, notice how I'm not accelerating. It's just gently lowering me to the surface. Saying I'm on the surface now. And, oh, thank you. Okay. So what I'm interested in, that whole purpose was, can this thing take off and not wreck the probe that's below it? So I'm going to throttle up. I've adjusted the staging, so this should decouple, and those engines, those ants should turn on. So let's do it. See? There. That's all I wanted to test, so that's going to work fine. Terminate the simulation. Oh, my dear. Okay. Okay. Let's go through my checklist and make sure... Probes. I'm not... there's no contract fine print. I have control. The probe has been configured. Science is all on there. Power generation, electrical storage I thought about. 10 of strength and 10 of speed I talked about. Data storage has been dealt with. Propulsion's all good. There's no RCS. There's a parachute on it. Thermal protection is there. Lights, yes. Upgrades. Do I need to worry about upgrades? This thing has 23 ignitions. The ants have a ton, so upgrades I don't have to worry about. Thrust to weight I've been looking at. That should be fine. Fairing and staging, I'm not into the booster yet. So, lights. That's all I got to think about. Let's put some lights on this. So, we have to light it up. Let's put on... Let's do 6 of these on the bottom. I want to really light this sucker up. 6 of these blinky amber lights. Blink on. Ambery color. Oh, it's more orange, but whatever. What are the textures on? Oh, I like the dark, I think. I'm gonna go dark. What's this one on the dark theme? Yeah, there we go. There we go. This is what we're doing. There. How about this one? You dark too? You can be dark too. Okay. With the decoupler, if I make it dark, does that really matter? It doesn't really matter. There we go. Alright, so that is that, and that. Blinky lights. We need more lights inside. Let's light up this whole section here if I can. Not a lot of room. Is that... Yeah, that's... Okay, I'm going to light it from above. Even though bringing these lights with us back is kind of pointless, but I don't... Gotta have lights. Pitch angle. Can we rotate them and... rotate them inwards? I'll 90, there we go. Light on. Yeah, so that'll just light up that section. And yeah, we'll put lights here too. Light up that bit. And more blinky lights. More blinky lights here. Okay, and again, amberish lights. Okay. So that's lights. All right, we need to get this thing into orbit. Now, what is the mass of this puppy? 5.2 tons. I have me a feeling that is the biggest thing. Yes, my biggest booster is can lift 3.5 tons. So maybe this is a good excuse for me to just make a new booster. I think it is. New booster. I've been unlocking more parts, so it's time for me to put in something new here anyway. Yeah. So we'll put on that. We need a fairing to cover this whole thing up. Still only have the 2.5 meter fairings. I think, yeah, it'll fit. Right? You're gonna make it up there? Yeah. Okay, fairing. 6 pieces. We'll put up the force. We'll test it in just a little bit. Okay, now what I need to do... yeah, that needs to go here. Okay. Is get some sort of booster under this. So let's get this up. What? Let's see. Fuel tanks, fuel tanks, fuel tanks. I want to start making my boost. Let's just see what we get. If I do this, let's arrange these engines by mass. This is my Terrier engine. There's the Valiant engine. Haven't made much use of this. What I'm looking for, oops, didn't stick on, is an upper stage booster with a thrust to weight in around 0.9 to 1 and a delta V of about 1,000. See if this does the trick. And then this will just be for the final part of the ascent. Yeah, I think this might work. Let's maybe just one of these. Oh, I gotta get me some bigger tanks. Oh my gosh. That works. I think that'll work all right. I'll worry about textures later, but I like the thrust, and this isn't a very heavy engine, so that'll make it a good one for the bottom. And now, what do I have for? I don't have the tricoupler or any of that kind of stuff. Ah, yes. I don't even have the bigger decouplers yet. I don't have... okay, we're going to need to go... what is my biggest engine? Oh, I do have a Bobcat engine. Okay. And what I got... I know what I got. Okay. What we got are... I know a better plan then with that Bobcat. Keep that. Keep that. That. Let's go with... just want to make so it's not getting this guy, and then I got my... oh, I do have that big one. This is my only, really, this is my only 3.5 meter part. That is, or whatever, point, what is it? Yeah. 1.875 meter part. That's what I'm going to say. How does that work? Again, I'm thinking just an upper stage here. I think that's working pretty good. Man, I need to get myself some some bigger tanks. And now it's going to be a whole lot of these. And all I want to do is make use of this Bobcat engine that I have. Oh my gosh. It's gotten so many... is this staging sensible? Yes, it is still. Okay, so that is that. I have 2008, but a lot... I think what I'm going to need to do, take this off, make this a little smaller. This is turning into kind of an ugly thing. I hate using all these little tanks. That's better. And then, what do I got for radial decouplers? Oh my gosh, my parts stink. I need better parts. Okay, no, let's put those back. What is my biggest SRB? I do have these, all, like these are way out of scale from everything else I have. Those are ridiculous. Why do I have those huge ones? I'm not unlocking things in a smart way. 3 of them maybe. Okay. This is going to be a homely booster. 2 this way. 2 this way. Let's check the staging out. So those 2 go first. Yep. Then we stage those. These go next. We stage those. These go next. And that's getting me into the 3,749 meters per second, which can comfortably get me into orbit. But it is ugly as sin. Oh my gosh. But I'm kind of committed to this monstrosity, so I'm going to stick with it. Alright, and move these down a bit. Move these ones down, get them all to line up nice. We're going to have to do a little bit of strutting. Thank goodness for struts. And strut these guys up. There. Oh, it didn't. Lost my strut. See it down there? There you are. Just going to hook that right to here. And then another set of struts on the other side. There you are. Like that. Reaction wheels. I'm just thinking that. I do now have the 1.25 meter reaction wheels, and I'm thinking a good spot to stick those be right there. That will help with stability during ascent. Alright, move you out of the way. Again, Delta V, oh, wait a sec. Am I way too low on Delta? Oh wait, this is all messed up now. These ones go first, then they decouple. Staging just got messed up. That makes no sense what I'm saying. That goes there. These go there. There, that's sensible now. Yeah, I got a good Delta V again. Ugh. I really, really don't like this. Well, we'll see. What these have different textures. I don't think I'm improving much by... Nope. We'll stick with what we got. Okay, bump, bump, bump. We need launch clamps. Yep. There we go. And they are definitely going to need that. Like that. So fire off the boosters, then the launch clamps, then that. I think I'm getting close to giving this a bit of a test ride. I can see... I think it's okay. It's okay. Now, I know that these boosters are going to want to have... They have a tendency to bang into each other, so I'm going to... I still don't have Separatrons, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some tail fins here. Oops, lost them. Where do those tail fins go? Tail fins. There we are. I'm going to put them on here, and then we're going to very slightly, if I can rotate them the right way, very slightly rotate them outwards, so that what I'm hoping these will do is to pull the booster away when the time is right, when we go to detach them. Whether this will work or not, I don't know. We're going to test it in just a little bit. Other way. That way. Again, here. That way. Here. I'm hoping that will help get these things to go away in a clean way. Okay, let's see. Do I have... oh my gosh. I don't have the thrust I need on the bottom. Shoot, so all 4 of these are going to have to go off at the same time. That gives me ample thrust on the bottom. I think I still got the delta V I need. Should be okay. Unfortunately, I don't have these on any kind of symmetry group, so I'm going to have to adjust both of these at the same time. Let's see. There, there. I'm just now looking at my thrust to weights, because the thrust to weights from these SRBs, all 4 of them going off at the same time, is monstrous. Why is this not changing? Because I'm changing the gimbal limit. Oh my gosh. Okay, I want a thrust to weight of around 0.33. Okay, let's try 67 in here. Perfect. Okay, good. That is that. Thrust to weight for this middle stage is going to be good. And thrust to weight on that top stage. I think this might work. So we'll test fairings. We'll test all this in a little bit. I think the staging is all sensible. Yeah, let's give this a go. Let's see if we can get this into orbit. And looking at the time, that's probably going to be after we do the simulation. That's probably going to be the end of it. So let's do this thing. So there. I think it all looks good. Simulate. This time we are simulating from the launch pad. Of course, 4 boosters all firing off at the same time at launch only increases the chance of Kerbalism coming and biting me in the back end with some sort of launch failure. But whatever. It is what it is. Okay. Throttle up and let's do this. Okay. First part so good. I still like all of these. Again, this is the KRASH simulator, and because I have the wireframes turned on, I'm getting all this stuff, but I don't know. Maybe at some point I'll get sick of it, but right now I still find it kind of... Whoa! Oh, I didn't put any kind of tail fins on this. I just realized that. It does have heavier reaction wheels, so hopefully the heavier reaction wheels will compensate for the fact that I don't have tail fins on this thing. Just try and get that right onto 90 degrees. Again, I'm not pitching over very well. Should be pitching over a little bit more quickly. But we're just in a test. Should be okay. About to lose the SRBs. We'll see how that separation goes. They separate nice and clean. Hey, that worked all right. I like it. Now we're on our new engine, the Bobcat engine. It is one dorky thing, that's for sure. But I mean, it could be worse. It actually is not wobbly and goofy. That's what I was kind of worried it would be. Okay. So I've just reduced throttle a little bit here. And I don't know if I'm going to run out on this booster before or after I have to stage the fairing, so I got to keep an eye on that. That's why it might not be a bad idea to always put the fairing on an action group rather than this, so that you're not dependent on that. I might fix that after this. But whoa, we just went into orbit mode. I have me a feeling I'm going to be firing off that, staging that fairing before we lose this booster. It's going to be close. What a thing this is. Holy cow. Well, I'm actually the other way around, aren't I? There we go. We're on this one. Let's turn up the throttle because that's not much of a motor. And now the fairings. Oh, we got to fix that too. Okay. But it came off cleanly. And again, this is just a test. Can we get into orbit? Can we get this into orbit? The lights look like. Okay. Kind of hard to judge them by the... Oh, these aren't blinking. Blink on. There we go. Ooh. I think I need to pitch up a little bit. I'm getting too close to my apoapsis. That's what happens with this little wimpy motor here. Let's just pitch up a little bit. Looking at this tined apoapsis, I do not want that. There, and it's starting to go back up again. Start to pitch down. Wimpy motors, but not very heavy motors, which I think is a good thing. Okay, lock that back on prograde. I might need, I don't know if we're going to make it. Let's see, it's going to be close. There's only 270, less than that now, almost 200 meters per second. I don't think, we'll see. I mean, I'll be the first to admit it wasn't the best of insertions there, but alright, that is 80 on the apoapsis, but there's only 8 meters per second left in this stage. So that is not going to be a successful orbital insertion. I think I'm going to terminate this simulation. This definitely is going to need some tweaking.